The entry hall served several important functions. When a visitor came into the front entry hall, they would go to the formal front parlor, closed off by the large pocket door. A family member would go to the mixed-use sitting room to the right, with access to the rest of the home. Sheriff Paugh, no longer having to break up saloon fights and chase bad guys, might come home and head to the pantry, or perhaps to an upstairs bedroom, to wash up. Then, if it was dinner time, walk through the sitting room back to the dining room for dinner with family. After dinner, the family might head back for the sitting room, also known as the back parlor, where the piano was. The family might sit down with the lady of the house, or the daughter, playing the piano and the rest of the family singing, playing games and such. The children might play cards or do homework, or maybe do the homework in their bedroom. The house had 4 bedrooms, so Sheriff Paugh's children could have their own space to write in their diary or read in seclusion. Hall trees were used in the entry hall to hold boots, umbrellas, hats, and coats, etc. They were also decorative, featuring beautiful woodwork, mirrors, and sometimes marble tops. The lidded container on the hall tree typically contained calling cards, such as this one I found slipped behind the fireplace mantel. The Fontaine Roses were prominent citizens in the community. Calling cards were left by visitors when they arrived, allowing the homeowner to review the cards later and decide on any follow-up visits. Prams, or perambulators, were invented in 1733. They originally were 3-wheelers with one in front, and they were pulled by a goat or a pony. Later they were modified so they could be pushed. In Victorian times they had 4 large wheels like this one does, and they resembled a full-size horse-drawn carriage. They were called baby carriages. In the 20th century they became baby buggies or strollers and were lighter and easier to push. In a home with an infant, the carriage would be placed in the entry hall for mother and baby to take a stroll. Charles Parrish, the builder, specialized in horse-drawn carriages, stair rails, doors, and windows. The house has all but a couple of the original doors and windows and the original stair rail with this beautiful newel post. This English frame, carved in Gothic style, holds one of the 2 lithographs of the house, done before it was built. A bench and a chair are here for a visitor to wait in comfort. Let's go into the front parlor, and I'll show you around. This is the front parlor, viewed from the sitting room. In the Victorian era, every middle-class home or upper-class home had a front parlor. Since it was the room that visitors saw first, the trim and furnishings were the nicest of all the rooms in the house. As you walk through the rooms toward the back of the Paugh house, the decoration and furnishings become less and less elaborate. Upstairs, the rooms were rather utilitarian, with the bedrooms just nice enough for visitors who spent the night. Here's some things I find interesting in the room. This is the front parlor again, looking toward the sitting room. All the doors in the house were built by Charles Parrish, with the exception of the 8-foot pocket door. They are in the style of early 20th century bungalow doors, although they preceded them by at least 50 years. Our 1854 house across the street also have them. This door had been removed and replaced with a built-in china cabinet, whose back jutted out into the entry hall. Fortunately, the trim was left, and this original door was saved. This is a close-up of the door trim. All the wood doors and French doors in the front parlor have this trim. The hinges are very plain, not like the fancy hinges of late Victorian home. They don't have pins. The door just lifts off the hinges by pulling up on the door handle. Great idea, never should have stopped making them that way. Every door has a keyhole cover like this one. On the exterior doors, these covers keep the breeze out. On the interior doors, they're ornamental, and in the bedrooms, they give privacy from nosy people looking through the keyhole. The downstairs doors all have mortise locks like this one. The upstairs bedrooms all have the more simple rim locks. The 3 French doors are 8 feet tall. The chandelier is from 1877. We were lucky enough to find matching ones for the front and back parlors. When we bought the house, there were early 20th century chandeliers in those rooms. When the house was built, it would have been lit by lard lamps, whale oil lamps, and candles. A little later, kerosene lamps came into use, such as these chandeliers and the lamp on the table. The top of that lamp containing the wick and kerosene comes off and can be carried around the house and upstairs for portable lighting. This is a later kerosene lamp. In wealthy homes of the 1850s, a servant was employed just to clean the soot from the ceiling and polish the brass. Kerosene was first extracted from coal in 1846. It wasn't widely used in homes until the 1860s, when it became popular because it was more affordable and burned cleaner and brighter than whale oil. The whales were grateful. This is a patented Hunzinger rocking chair. George Hunzinger was a German-born cabinet maker who emigrated to New York in 1855 and became a well-known furniture maker. He was known for his unique and technologically advanced furniture designs. This chair is featured in a book about him and his furniture. The rocker is patented. The back and arms are individual pieces held together by thick copper wires. I thought I'd make a short demo of this 1904 Edison phonograph. There's no electricity on this machine, it's all acoustical sound. The sound is captured and reproduced from a cylinder, such as the one shown. This is called a horn. It amplifies the sound. This is the little lever that starts and stops the cylinder rotation. And this is the crank to wind up the spring that, when released, gives it power to rotate the cylinder. This is the mechanism to lower and raise what Edison called the stylus. It's called the needle on later phonographs.
March, Kaiser Frederick, played by the British military band, Edison record.
You get the idea. These are late Victorian Morris chairs. William Morris was a renowned British designer and one of the founders of the arts and crafts movement. His designs were used in various textiles, including wallpaper and furnishing fabrics. Although he didn't invent the Morris chair, his company refined it and popularized it because of its comfort, partially created by the chair's adjustable back. This Gothic Victorian display cabinet we acquired in an auction from New Orleans. When it arrived, we discovered there was only the top. It was right after Hurricane Katrina, and we believe the bottom cabinet was destroyed by flooding. I was able to find one very similar in an old catalog, and we had a talented woodworker recreate the missing part. No wonder we got it cheap. There's interesting Victoriana inside, but it would take too long to go into those items in this video.